The change that happened to the blessed land of Palestine. In 1896, the beginning of the mass migration of European Jews to the land of Palestine began. Before the early 1900s and before the First World War, Palestine was under the rule of the Ottoman Empire as a Muslim land, with a small number of Jews and Christians living there as guests. After the First World War, the Ottoman Empire collapsed, and the blessed land fell into the hands of British colonial rule on October 31, 1917. The British, who stayed in Palestine for 28 years, strengthened the migration of European Jews by issuing their famous declaration, the Balfour Declaration. At that time, Jews made up only 6% of the population of Palestine, but they were increased to 33%, meaning that between 1920 and 1945 alone, the British had settled 376,415 Jews into the land of Palestine. After the Second World War, when Palestine was already heavily populated with Jews, the newly formed United Nations, only 2 years old at the time, proposed a plan in which 55% of the land would go to the Jews who had been brought in by ships, while the Palestinians would be left with only 45% of their own land, with Jerusalem placed under UN administration. In 1948, when the British withdrew from Palestinian land, fierce clashes broke out between the native people and the newly settled ones. The Israeli forces displaced more than 750,000 Palestinians, an event known as al-Nakba, and seized 78% of Palestinian land, leaving the remaining 22% divided between the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, the Jews captured all the remaining Palestinian land, as well as the Golan Heights of Syria and the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. But in 1978, Egypt and Israel signed an agreement in which Egypt regained the Sinai Peninsula. In Oslo, 1993, the Jews and Palestinians signed an agreement allowing Palestinians to have their own self-administration. Since then, violations, displacement, imprisonment, and killings have made the Palestinian people live in constant tragedy, while the blessed land has seen its color changed by the blood of its Palestinian brothers.